Hello, today we will create a simple 3D room in Blender. The process is straightforward and doesn't take much time. I have also added a keyboard and mouse overlay so you can follow along with my inputs. But first, we need to adjust some settings. Go to Edit, then navigate to Preferences, and then to Key Map. Now enable Tab for Pie Menu and Pie Menu on drag. This will make working in Blender easier. When I press Tab, all the different menus appear. I find it much easier to switch between object mode and edit mode this way. Now we can start creating the room. First, delete everything in Blender, then add a basic cube. You can adjust the room size as you prefer, or follow my example. We'll begin by deleting one of the walls to make it easier to work inside the room. Don't worry, adding the wall back later is very simple. I think the ceiling is a bit too high here, so I'm adjusting it down a bit. If you want, you can rename the cube to Room, as this will make it easier to work with. Next, we'll create the baseboards for the room. We'll start by making the lower baseboards, and then we can simply copy them to use as crown molding at the ceiling. I'm not completely satisfied with the size here either, so I'm making a few small adjustments. If you prefer, you can make the baseboards taller or thinner. It's entirely up to your personal preference. The next step is to use the bevel tool to round off the edges at the top of the baseboard. You can also choose how rounded you want the edges to be, depending on your preference. Now simply copy the baseboard, rotate it, and place it on the left wall. We will do the same for the wall at the back. Now we've created the room itself, and we've added baseboards at the bottom and crown molding at the top. The next step is to change the floor of the cube, which is very easy to do. But remember, after you've copied it, press P and select Selection. This is important because it converts it into a new mesh. Coffee break. Now we can move on to what I think is the most fun part, adding colors. I recommend adding Blender Kit if you haven't already. It's free, and there are plenty of ready-made textures you can use. Sometimes the texture isn't perfect, and in that case, you'll need to go into the UV editor. Here, you can scale the texture as needed and adjust it to fit exactly how you want. Now, I'm using a preset setting to make the texture fit better on the wall. But as you can see, the room is completely dark right now. This is because we haven't added any lighting. The next step is to add lights to the room. I'm choosing to add some spotlights, but you can choose whatever lighting setup you prefer. We can easily add a mission to create light. I'm setting the strength to 60, but you can adjust this to your preference. You can also change the light's color if you want a different hue. Now simply place the light wherever you want in the room and then copy it to any spots you'd like. If you decide to adjust the light strength, it will affect all of the lights you've copied. The last thing we'll do now is add the final wall to close off the light in the room. I'm also setting up a camera. In the camera settings, you can choose how far the camera should go in before it captures an image under Clip Start. I've only been using Blender for a few months, and I'm really enjoying it. Some friends have suggested that I share my work so others can learn from it. This is my first video, so I'm not expecting perfect feedback. But if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment with what you liked and feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you have any tips or questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment as well. Thanks for watching.